Let's talk a little bit more on the strategy, a bit of restructuring, which you've mentioned that is now behind you. And of course, now with it behind you, let's talk to the investors who are very keen as well to hear on this.
Right.
And how are expectations for investors evolving? That's particularly number one, especially on capital structure, dividend potential, and strategic partnerships. And also noting that you're now back on the floor at the Nairobi Securities Exchange.
Yes.
Yeah.
So aviation,
Yeah.
very, very complicated business. I always argue, especially with my colleagues in other sectors, in banking and FMCG and others, that this is a sector like no other.
You're right.
First of all, I mean, we made 5.4 billion.
Yeah.
I don't know whether you want to hazard a guess how much net profit margin that is.
I don't want to try. I might mess you
2%.
up. 2%.
That's 2%. Okay. Now, many, so that's, in aviation, that's normal. To have a 2% profit margin, it's normal. I mean, other things that are ancillary to our business that will improve and diversify the business.
Yeah, quite a lot to unpack there. I actually wanted to refer to the conversation we had with you when you were talking about the half-year results. And one of the things that you mentioned is that you were still in search of a strategic investor, something of that sort. How far are we in this conversation?
Now, to grow, because that's what I was saying, and diversify the business, you need capital.
You need it.
Okay? Today, we are completely undercapitalized. And that's why we're looking for an investor. Or let's say funding. So this business needs a significant amount of funding. I cannot disclose it because we're in the middle of discussions. We have been having discussions with quite a number of potential investors, some of whom we didn't think were suitable, and therefore we dropped the discussions. Some of whom did not think we were suitable, and so they opted out. But there are kind of 3 or 4 who one is very hot, and others are still, in between, who we are pursuing. But the bigger discussion is we were still waiting for our principal shareholder to formally give us a nod so that we can use a formal process, which is typically to go out into the market and do a roadshow and so on, which we haven't quite done. But we're just using the discussions of potentials. So we're having those discussions as we wait for the principal shareholders to give us a nod. Once they give us a nod, we'll formalize the process. We can say how much money we're actually looking for. We'll do roadshows, and you people can also be involved in those discussions.
Let's talk about Project Kifaru, because you mentioned it big time. Even when you were releasing your results, I heard you mention it. This is Project Kifaru 2. How is this going on in terms of redefining success beyond profit?
So Project Kifaru had two elements. The first one was optimization of the business. So you talk about cost, network, fleet, and maximization of revenue. Just to summarize it, because I don't want to go over the whole thing.
Absolutely.
And then milestones were there. We achieved all those milestones. So we are where we are. Then we said, for a continuous growth, we do Project Kifaru 2. A small portion of it was around cultural change, which again is by and large, it's continuous, of course. Because even cost optimization, you don't stop. You continuously look for opportunities to optimize your business. But by and large, the big restructuring is over and done with. So now you go to the next phase, which is mainly capitalization of the business. And this is very important, actually. In fact, I'll say this. If we are not able to capitalize the business, this business will never go beyond where we are today. In fact, I don't think it's sustainable. So the business has to be capitalized. The business has to grow. If we don't capitalize, we will shrink. And shrinkage is really, really bad at this stage. It's already too small in my mind to succeed. So that's the push of Project Kifaru 2 is mainly capitalization and growth. For us to be sustainable.
Lovely. You're quite bullish on partnerships.
Yes.
I have seen partnerships with Starlink, Safari Link as well. Do you want to give some color to that?
Yes. So I mentioned earlier that you can't do everything. Okay. So stick to your lane and use other people's assets to support your ambitions, and then also support them. So you complement each other. So I'll talk about, just very briefly, about the latest, which is Safari Link. So why Safari Link, and what are we trying to do? We're trying to offer a single ticket from source, New York, or London, or Amsterdam, to the Mara.
Direct.
Or to Samburu, or to Nanyuki, to places where Safari Link goes and we cannot go because of the way we operate. So they are specialists when it comes to safari tours. We are specialists when it comes to commercial flying. So we are complementing each other. And because we are big Kenyan brands, we can complement each other. We can make this product very, very seamless for our customer. Remember, it's all about the customer. Okay? So that's a big partnership. And so we see a symbiotic relationship between the two. And that's why we're doing it. But I also wanted to say this, that African airlines have to work together. I was mentioning the fact that we are too small to succeed. African airlines are too small to succeed. I typically give an example of Delta Airlines, which is an American carrier, of course, 800 plus aircraft. Okay. If you put all the commercial airlines in Africa, they are not bigger than Delta. So that tells you that Delta is one of the most profitable airlines in the world because of they are scalable and because, of course, they're diversified as well. So African airlines, for them to get to that level where they have enough scale to make sense, they first therefore need to come together. We need to come together. That's what I was trying to do with South African Airlines, but it has slowed down. But I haven't given up. I think it is critical for the future of African aviation for consolidation to happen at whatever stage and at whatever rate. It has to happen so that we have enough scale. And with the more scale we have, the more places we can fly. The more places we can fly, the bigger we become. The bigger we become, we have more scale. And so it is cyclical. So we continue to replicate ourselves and become bigger and bigger and more viable. But at the stage that we are, with the aircraft that we have, with the size that we are, it is not sustainable.
So finally, looking ahead in your strategy, what are you looking ahead to?
Yeah, I think I mentioned it in passing, which is, first of all, to continue making sure that our people and our assets are productive.
Yeah.
So sweating the assets, making sure that they are producing the best that they can, because they're limited.
Yeah.
We continue to look for growth. So we have 3 pillars for the future. One is growth. And like I said, growth in terms of making sure we're flying more with the assets we have and adding the assets that we have. Growth in terms of diversification of the business, new business lines, additional business lines, growing the existing business lines.
Yeah.
So that's one, growth.
Yeah.
Secondly is excelling. So making sure our customers are happy with what we're offering them. And if they're not, we listen to them and we iterate as we go along. So that is 2, that is excel.
Yeah.
Thirdly is to sustain the growth.
Yeah.
So by sustain, we mean that because we have the scale as we grow, we make sure that it's repeatable. We can repeat this process over and over. We make sure that we, not just from an economic point of view, are we sustainable? We taking care of costs. We are looking for additional revenue. But also from an environmental point of view, that we are responsible to society, making sure we are responsible to our employees, and that they have they are in the proper frame of mind, proper frame of health to produce. Right. So those are our 3 pillars, which are growth, excel, and sustain.
Thank you so much for your time, Allan.
Thank you very much.
Always a pleasure really talking to you. And we shall come back to talk about now intra-Africa and what you're doing towards helping us travel easy here.
Absolutely. And remember, I'm also the chairman of the Africa Airline Association. So we shall talk about
that. Yeah. There you have it. That is Allan Kilavuva, KQ CEO, speaking as it is right here on the Trading Bell. And I hope you investors and shareholders as well have had it. And it's a wake-up call for us as well to continue supporting what is our own and really see it growing to the heights. Of course, congratulations to them on the numbers, and we really wish them well. I leave you now with the numbers.